Hey, it's the Chief Bonding with Board Games, and this is a preview of Ships of the Line with multiple different years. We'll come back to that. Navíos de Línea from Spain. This is Trafalgar Editions. Games and Books is the company's name. Now, I've done a full review on the Trafalgar 1805 version, considered Volume 1 now. Volume 2 is not out yet, and you will see it's got 1798, Aboukir, it's got Algeciras, 1801, I think I say that wrong multiple times, it's got the USS Constitution, 1812, they talk about super frigates and the Constellation. Let's see, we also have Lake Erie, 1813. So what I've done, there's two things here. One, the rules have not changed as far as the like the miniatures rules, the weapons used, the movement points, how they're done, how they're shifted, how you move your sailing vessel, your wooden ship with the wind. So I'm going to have a link to this review in the description where I go into that. It's actually quite long. So if you want that, it's like 40 minutes long. I wanted this to be a little bit quicker, more as an exposure type review, preview. So I'm going to show the water boards, the 8.5. Again, this is all preview stuff. This isn't final version, but I believe it's pretty close. There's some water boards that you'll put down that you'll be sailing on. And then the flip side has some terrain. I'll show you that. And then there's even some overlays because you have a scenario book that covers all these different battles. You also get ship cards. All right, this one has the Constitution and the Constellation on it, U.S. super frigates. And I'll throw in some photos. Maybe they're popping some up now. I may pop some up later. But these different ships, which will allow you to fight the battles that are in the scenario book, will come in this volume 2. So it allows you to do a multitude of new battles. And of course, you can always come back and make your own. Now, this is a miniatures game. The version that I think everybody gets are like white, almost translucent sails that stick down into the hull. And I use a little tack kind of, it's like taffy stuff. I forget what's it called, sticky tack that holds them because depending on the sails you have is what depends on your movement. Again, go watch the full review to see all that here. And the game will generally come with red, British generally, and blue, French generally, but you have little flags you can put on the back if they're from Spain, or if you have this version, I think there's yellow ships. I have some painted ships that are brown, and they look really nice on the table. So you can paint these as well. But you can board, you can fire chain shot, you can fire grape shot, you can fire double shot fire, you can fire hot shots, catch them on fire, baby, catch them on fire. All right, let me just go in and show you these boards and the overlay. This is the Battle of Algiers Bay. Now, first of all, my table's pine, so it's about the same color as the overlays, so it looks kind of interesting that way. I'll remove these overlays in a second. And I will be inserting some photos from the scenario book as we go. Also, the ships that I'm using here, you can see the red one and these blue ones up here. I'll change the angle in a second. But the scenarios come with the setup. I'll show you some pictures from there. The boards, which are set down, you can see these are just like 8.5 by 11 boards. And then you have these nice overlays that fit over top in order to give you your battle scenario. The sandy portion, you'll see there's kind of like two areas. Those are part of the shallow bay. Let me rotate around and show you some of the specifics of the map. So just a slightly different angle. You can see normally you would have the flags on the stern of all the ships as well, just so you can designate which ones are which as you're working off of your ship boards. but I wanted to just kind of show them in line and also show the template for ranges. Let me just rotate a little bit, and we can see that these larger ships of the lines are anchored still in the bay. I know that looks like sand. And then again, with the inserted photo, you can see some smaller little gunboats as well, because the coast doesn't actually start until you hit that hard line, which we can kind of see rolling around there. I'm going to pull off one of these overlays, just move it so you can see how these are laid in. So again, these are kind of like heavy cardstock. I don't know if there'll be different versions. I would also put plexiglass over this just so the boards and the overlays didn't shift around. So I've set up the boards on their alternate side. So on this side you have pure sea, and on this other flip side you have land masses, and you have the shading of the different shallows. Now I'm inserting a photo now from the scenario book, so you can see it lays out exactly how to set up the two different lines of ships. You can also notice, again, this is a prototype version, but on the scenario setup, there's a little bit more ocean space that I'll need at the top of the map with how I have it laid out now. So again, this is a prototype. This isn't officially released yet, but I wanted to show you how beautiful these map boards look when they're laid out, and how well the shading of the shallows works here. And you can see how you would have to be maneuvering properly to make sure you don't put your wooden warships aground. Now, a very nice addition to Volume 2 are the American ships, the super frigates. I love the Constitution, and I've toured the Constellation, so they're in this game. The battles take place in open sea, so you won't have any land masses. But I'm throwing in some photos of the shipboards for these different ships, and I'll show you the setups from the scenario book. You also have the Battle of Lake Erie, or the Battle of Put-in Bay, from September 10th, 1813. And you can see the setup page for that as well. Also an open lake in this case, with no shore involved. All right, I'm going to put some photos in of the different ship cards so you can see what you'll be fighting with. So we have the French here with the Battle of Aboukir. Again, I'm sure I may be saying this wrong, but you can see the ship names. You get an idea for the size based on the number of guns listed and the number of hull points they have. On the flip side of that card, we have the ships for the Battle of Algeciras Bay. So we can see the Spanish here, especially in regards to the two forts and all the little gunboats. So we're back. Again, you get brand new ship cards that you can use. You can always make your own scenarios. And as long as you like miniatures rules and you like maneuvering ships of the line, all right, I was a 1988, I purchased Wooden Ships and Iron Men, so I love battling sailing vessels, so tacking, and all the things that come with it. But again, this is just a preview. This is not officially out yet, and I'm not sure exactly when. This is a Spanish company, but last time I checked, and I'll also put it in the description, there is an American website where you can still order the Trafalgar 1805 Volume 1 version. So go look in the description if you're interested in that. Chief, bonding with board games.